What's up guys, it's Messed Up Swede. Right now I'm checking out the Kid Nerd video. Go subscribe to his channel, go like the video. This one is the Deadly Battle of Hackney, Borough at War. So yeah, I'm guessing this is gonna be about Unknown T, the 98s and that. And yeah, I don't even know who they're beefing. I think it's Sid T, at least one of them, but we'll see what the video is about, man. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the way to 2K subs. Let's go.
Place where thousands of people all over the UK rush to move to, with some of the best.
Hold on.
A place where thousands of people all over the UK rush to move to, with some of the best schools, social life, and quality of living in London.
It seems like it's like this in a lot of places in London. Like the fancy places and the hood or the ends, whatever you want to call it. They seem to be so close. Like obviously it's the same around here basically, but I live in Malmö in Sweden is a lot smaller than London, obviously.
Hackney really has something for everyone, with one of the most thriving nightlifes in London, located in Shoreditch and Dalston. A unique opportunity of inner city nature and wildlife in London Fields and the Hackney City Farm, while also having wonderful examples of art and culture with its several museums and street art, while also being home to a wide range of different cultures and social classes, who live side by side with each other. All of this while being so close to the centre of the city. But in the background of all of this, there's a darker side to the borough, a side which is constantly getting covered up. Today, we'll be getting into the history of Hackney and the deadly gang war that's plagued the borough for decades. Let's get into it. Before I get into this video guys, make sure to follow my Instagram in the description. I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways on there soon, so make sure you don't miss out. Now Hackney was very different in the past to how it is now. There wasn't much covering up what it was back in the day, which was a poverty-ridden area with a lot of crime. In the 1960s, Hackney was seen as the heart of East London. Despite its harsh poverty, the nightlife made it a very bright and exciting area. But in the background, residents lived in relative fear due to old school English gangsters who self-governed a lot of what was happening around the borough. Probably one of the most famous examples being the Cray twins, who grew up in the
Oh yeah, I've heard about those guys.
the slums of Hackney and grew up to be one of the most powerful and influential duos in the criminal underground around London. Decades after this, a new force started to emerge inside London, the Jamaican Yardies, and they were building up a big reputation for violence around London. Some of the first areas the Yardies were building their influence was inside Hackney and another area in London called Tottenham, and it wasn't long before gang members in Hackney and Tottenham started having issues between themselves. In the late 90s, back and forth issues mainly
I always struggle when I see a map of London like this. But yeah, obviously I recognize a lot of the areas, but yeah, just putting it all together, yeah, it's a mess in my head, man.
between the London Fields and Pembury areas
Okay.
of Hackney and the Broadwater Farm Estate in
Oh, Broadwater Farm as well. The OFB guys.
Tottenham
Obviously this was before their time though.
escalated in a full-out war, which was one of the deadliest gang wars the UK had seen at the time. Thankfully, this feud ended up dying out after the younger generations didn't keep it alive. Instead, the younger generations in Hackney were more focused in petty feuds inside the borough. School fights between kids from London Fields and Clapton started being a cause for concern.
Oh, it's Clapton East as well.
In Hackney. It started getting a bit more worrying when different areas and estates around the borough started picking sides. A couple kids from nearby estates in Holly Street and Balance Road in Homerton.
Holly Street and Homerton, that's the 98s right now, right? Holly Street, I think, is the 8s. And the 9ers are obviously Homerton. I think so, at least.
Started teaming up with Clapton against London Fields, but at this time, it was just an innocent group of kids fighting each other outside of schools. Unfortunately, this all changed on June the 9th, 2003. A few days before, boys from London Fields and Holly Street had a group fight, like they had been doing throughout the last few months. Holly Street were looking for revenge, and decided to take this feud to the next step. So on June the 9th, they drove to London Fields, which is no less than 2 minutes away from Holly Street. In 3 days.
That's what's mad as well. Like, driving 2 minutes is how far they are from each other. So yeah, stuff can obviously pop off anytime.
Different cars loaded with a pistol and a shotgun. When they arrived, they spotted a group of kids playing outside the London Fields estate and immediately started shooting. 2 shots hit an 18-year-old called JD Brissett, sadly
R.I.P. man.
killing him, starting a war which goes on till this day. This murder was all over the news and was labelled as the first ever post-Cold War death in London, and more was to come. Throughout the rest of the 2000s, violence was erupting all over the borough, which divided Hackney into 2 sides, red side and blue side.
Damn, the blue side are surrounded, man. Damn. Yeah, so London Fields is ZT as well. Okay. Homerton 98 around there. Okay.
With different estates picking different sides. Hackney's a small place as well, with it being the 4th smallest out of 32 boroughs in London, and with so many estates and gangs all over the borough, with most of the
Yeah, all these estates look crazy as well.
time only a street separating them. Violence was becoming an everyday occurrence, especially in the summers during school holidays. On one summer in 2008, a 16-year-old boy called Ahmed was with a group of his friends on the top floor of his housing estate in London Fields. When they spotted a group of boys riding bikes towards their building, Ahmed's friends scattered while the group was chasing them to the top of their building. But Ahmed lost his friends and got cornered by the gang, so he attempted to climb down the high-rise estate on the side of the building, which was his only escape. He ended up falling 60 feet to his death.
R.I.P. man. That's crazy.
A day before, he was meant to receive his GCSE results, which he passed 9 subjects on. 10 days later, London Fields boys wanted revenge, so 6 boys from the London Fields area rode bicycles near an opposing area called Pembury and stabbed a 14-year-old boy who went by the name of Fester, just yards from his house, leaving him to die. The boys then proceeded to even slash Fester's 16-year-old sister in the face, who was
What the hell?
with him at the time. Around the same time all of this mess was happening on the streets, a group of slightly older guys from London Fields was starting to pave the way for Hackney musically. A few early artists from the London Fields area, like Margs, Asco,
Oh, Marks.
Hypo and Tricky, made a
Oh, yeah, I recognize these guys. Obviously, R.I.P. to Hypo as well, man. Yeah, obviously I know about Tricky and Marks.
rap group called Masstown. They were really making noise on the music scene in a time before big record deals for UK artists. But Masstown's early success really showcased to a lot of younger
Damn, is that a young Asco? I wouldn't even have recognized him, I'm not gonna lie, man.
kids that there may be a chance of success outside of the streets. Younger kids from the London Fields area also tried their chance on music. One of these kids being someone who went by the name of Error Kid, who jumped on tracks with other younger members from London Fields. But sadly in 2009, his music career was cut short after he was attacked by members from the opposing areas of Holly Street and Hoxton, leaving him dead. More young
R.I.P. man.
from London Fields also started dropping music, calling themselves ROS or Ride Out Squad, and they were making a lot of noise on the scene in the early 2010s. Other artists throughout Hackney started gaining more notoriety as well. One of the first diss tracks to come out of Hackney was from a rapper in Homerton called Kemsey. He
Oh, Kemsey is still rapping as well.
dropped a song called Balance Block, which was a big diss track to London Fields. A rapper called Rimsey from the Upper Clapton.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when they mentioned Clapton before. I didn't know Rimsey was from East though. I don't know why, but I always thought he was from South. But maybe I'm mixing up Clapton and Clapham. Because Clapham is where Schemer and those guys are from, right? And that's in South. At least I think so.
Area also started dropping some big tracks with good production value, and he was looking like he was going to be the next big thing out of London. But while stuff was looking up for him on the music scene, unfortunately the streets of Hackney got the best of him. On January the 10th,
yeah, we all, I mean, if you haven't seen this, yeah, I'm assuming pretty much everyone watching this video has seen this.
Rimsey alongside two others were riding bicycles through Hackney, loaded with a revolver looking for any opposition gang members. An undercover police car spotted the group and started to pursue them, when Rimsey let off one shot into the unmarked police
That's mad.
car before his gun jammed. The group cycled away, eventually ditching their bikes and making a run for it, but the trio were caught and Rimsey was sentenced to 11 years in jail. Another upper
I mean, something that's crazy as well when you think about it. Rimsey got 11 years for shooting into a police car, and CB got 23 for just brandishing it for the cops, or like aiming towards the cops. That's crazy as well, man.
up-and-coming artist from an estate called Fellows Court in Hackney was starting to get his name out there on the scene when he dropped a tune called Trash Town, which was a direct diss track to London Fields. But sadly, just like Rimsey, he let the streets get the better of him. His name was Dubsy, and alongside 3 other friends from the Fellow Courts estate, they took a 5-minute trip from their estate to an opposing estate in Hackney called Hoxton, when they spotted the 18-year-old called Marcel Adai, who was recently seen in a Hoxton music video. The group spotted him and ran him down until Marcel tripped up. After he fell, the group proceeded to hold him down and stab him 14 times, leaving him for dead.
R.I.P. man.
The worst thing about this is not too long before, Fellows Court and Hoxton used to be part of the same gang until civil disputes broke them apart. Dubsy would receive a life sentence for this, cutting his music career short. But one murder that affected a lot of especially younger people in Hackney happened on April the 23rd, 2013. A kid who just turned 16 that went by the name of D-Dot was travelling home on his bus from school, ready to celebrate his 16th birthday, when he passed a school called Highbury Grove. Another school kid who spotted D-Dot through the window boarded the bus, stabbed him and ran off. D-Dot collapsed and sadly the next day he was pronounced dead.
R.I.P. man.
D-Dot started getting close to the London Fields gang in his area, who were still feuding the nearby area of Pembury, who his 15-year-old attacker was from. Due to the close proximity of all these feuding areas, a lot of kids from different gangs would come into close contact with each other, resulting in even the simple task of going to and from school a constant risk. Even sending kids outside of Hackney was no longer safe, with Hackney being both in North and East London. Gangs from nearby boroughs like Islington and Tower Hamlets also started getting involved in Hackney politics, which was becoming an increasing problem. But stuff for a little while was looking up for Hackney. Due to the 2012 Summer Olympics taking place in London, the government used the Olympics as an excuse to clean up parts of East London, which was lacking behind other parts of the city. The Olympics took place in Stratford, a town just outside of Hackney, which had its own issues with crime. But by the time the Olympics was beginning, Stratford and parts of Hackney look unrecognizable to its former state.
Yeah, this looks nice, man.
Tower blocks were being taken down and replaced for modern apartments, and many low-income residents were being relocated to areas further away from the centre of London. And for a few years or so, the crime rate actually went down in Hackney, but this didn't last long. It would only take 2 years.
Damn, that's a crazy graph. Like the way it goes down, up. Yeah, I mean... And you see it skyrocketing at 2022. Crazy.
years after the Olympics for the crime rate to go back up, and not long after, sadly another life was lost to the feud. J-Dot was a straight A student from Homerton who came to the UK with his family from Congo searching for a better life, but unfortunately while residing in Hackney he started getting involved in the streets from early. J-Dot and his two friends Gashi and Sana were around an hour away from London in a town called Swindon, where Sana said the trio were out selling drugs in a county line operation. On January the 6th, 2015, the three were travelling back to London on the train, but what J-Dot and Gashi didn't know was that Sana was in communication with a 17-year-old London Fields member, letting him know that the three would be arriving at Hackney Central Station at 11 PM. When the three arrived, J-Dot and Gashi stepped out of the station, not knowing that their so-called friend Sana had set them up in a trap of
There's a lot of snaking in this type of lifestyle, man. That's crazy.
multiple London Fields members packed with knives. Once they walked out the station, the three dispersed after being ambushed by the London Fields boys. Luckily, they managed to get away, eventually ending up in their area Homerton. But at this time, they didn't put two and two together that their friend Sana had set them up. The London Fields members spent the next half an hour searching through the Hackney streets in an attempt to find both Gashi and J-Dot. Sana managed to locate the pair and once again leaked their whereabouts. This time they weren't as lucky. J-Dot was stabbed several times with a fatal stab wound to his heart. 4 people including Sana were arrested for this murder,
R.I.P. man.
where Sana even turned against the other 3 and testified against them. They all got lengthy sentences. Around the same time as all of this happening, the UK drill scene started popularising in South London. Hackney as a whole was a bit late to the drill scene, but in 2018 the Borough started making their mark on the genre. A London Fields rapper named Lats blew up on the scene after
Yeah, I remember that. He was kind of cold, I think. I didn't really listen to him like that, but no, he had a couple decent songs.
dropping his hit single called The Truth. Another rapper coming out of the opposing area of Homerton was also making waves called
Yeah, man. It sucks seeing all these guys that's called rappers, but all of them are locked up, man. Especially with the 98s right now, like all of them are locked up, man. And it's for like murders and stuff, so it's not like just a couple years or something.
KO, especially after dropping his Mad About Bars freestyle, which solidified him in the genre. But it was another Homerton rapper that really put on for Hackney, after he dropped no doubt the biggest drill song to come out of the UK at the time. The rapper being someone who went by the name of Unknown T. Unknown T hadn't been rapping for too long, but when he dropped his single Homerton B on August the 19th, 2018, the song grew to a point that the drill scene had not seen before, being the first UK drill song to chart in the official singles charts.
He was actually the first one. That's cold.
Which was a shock to a lot of people. After this drop, Unknown T was looking like he was gonna be the first drill artist to cross over to the mainstream. He secured a deal with the big music corporation Universal, and even performed alongside big Canadian rapper Drake at the O2. But there was one issue. Unknown T was under investigation for a New Year's murder in 2018. A murder which took place not long before he dropped his first big single. Basically, during the New Year's party Unknown T and other Homerton members attended, a 20-year-old man completely unrelated to Hackney's gang politics was stabbed to death after an altercation at the party.
R.I.P. man.
Unknown T alongside 3 others were arrested and charged for the murder. Another man part of the Homerton gang was also meant to be charged for the murder as well, called Sheg, but sadly him himself was also killed by London Fields members some months
R.I.P. to him as well, man.
before. Unknown T managed to beat the murder case, claiming he wasn't involved in the fight, but his 2 co-defenders was not as lucky and ended up getting sentenced for the murder. Throughout the next few years, back and forth murders, shootings and stabbings have continued throughout the borough, so much that I can't even cover everything on this video. One murder that was covered heavily on the news was the murder of a 29-year-old man called Joshua White on the 26th of April 2019. Just before this murder, a young member of the Stokey 16 gang who were allied with London Fields received threats from an older Stokey member who was in jail. The older member said that he wasn't putting in enough work for the gang and quoted that Theo needed to get somebody down or he would be de-recruited from the gang.
Damn. I didn't know they talk like that, man.
So Theo, alongside 2 other Stokey 16 members, rode around in a stolen SUV looking for people around Homerton. When the group arrived at Frampton Park Road in E9, they spotted 29-year-old Joshua White, who used to have links to Homerton but was about to start a job as a train driver soon. Theo, alongside 2 others, jumped out on Joshua White and chased him into a shop, stabbing him multiple times with a 2-foot sword, all in front of a young kid who fell to the ground while getting chased. Unfortunately,
Crazy, man.
Joshua would die from his injuries,
R.I.P.
but the gang wasn't finished there. They jumped back in the SUV and searched for more people. They eventually found someone else they recognized, who was with his partner and young child at the time, but this didn't stop them and they proceeded to stab him multiple times. Not long after the second stabbing, police were notified about the attacks happening out of an SUV, so while the group was looking for more people, they ended up
Crazy to actually see the car chase as well.
getting into a police chase where they
Damn.
crashed the car and dispersed. All 3 attackers were caught. Around the same time as all of this happening, members of the Homerton and Holly Street gangs linked up and started calling themselves 98s. They started dropping music under the 98s name and instantly started gaining millions of views on their songs. But unfortunately, their success was not long-lived, with 4 of their biggest rappers on some serious charges looking at some serious time. Quite recently, 98's rapper DA, who had some big star potential, got sentenced to 28 years for a misidentification shooting. 98's rapper Billy Billions is also locked up right now in relation to the same case, and if he's found guilty, he'll also be looking at a long stretch.
I didn't even know that, man. I didn't know Billy was in for the same case and could be getting that many years as well.
Another 2 98's rappers, called KO and Hitman, are also currently on trial for a 2022 murder of a London Fields member called KB. On August the 13th of
They were sentenced, right? They were found guilty, I believe. Sucks,
that
man.
year, KB was attending a children's birthday party in Walthamstow, East London, when he stepped out the party to go to his car. 2 men who police claim is KO and Hitman were waiting for him and fatally shot him. Not too long after, KO dropped a song called Laughing Stock, which was quickly building up a lot of attention after
I didn't even think about that.
the recent events, but it was building attention in all the wrong ways. The police monitored this song heavily, which had a lot of incriminating lyrics. One lyric even described how the same gun which was used to kill KB was also used to shoot KB's older brother previously.
That's crazy, man.
Which was something the feds didn't know until they listened to the song. It was later found out by forensics that the same gun had been used in 7 different shootings before the murder. After heat from the song and other evidence, KO and Hitman were both booked for the murder. Not too long before this, another up-and-coming rapper from the London Field side was also starting to look promising called Blacker, but once again,
Yeah, I think I've heard a little bit of him.
his career was cut short after a shooting in 2020 with a submachine gun sprayed out of control, hitting several civilians outside a children's park. Blacker, alongside a cab driver, was sentenced to 35 years for the murder.
35. Damn.
Unfortunately, it seems like this feud has no signs of stopping, with many lives lost throughout the small borough. It's kinda crazy that this is all happening within a place where a lot of people believe to be one of the best places to live in London. But this turf war, which escalated from a group of innocent school kids having fistfights more than 2 decades ago, has made life living hell for many residents growing up in the borough. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and stay safe.
Yeah, man, this video was crazy. Like, so much young guys dead. And like, for what, really? Like, yeah. It doesn't make sense from the outside, obviously. When you're in it, obviously it's gonna be different, man. But yeah, it's just really sad. So many young guys losing their lives, and the ones doing it getting like 30 years in jail. So both sides are literally wasted. Like, yeah, man, I don't have too much more to say. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.